So now we're going to have a look at writing one number as the power of another. I'm going to use this technique to answer some more in-context exam style questions as well. So looking at how you could be asked about writing one number as the power of another in an exam question. And I've seen a past paper, a recent past paper, where a question has been asked to solve an equation which requires this technique, and it says any solutions relying on calculator technology are not acceptable. So it's expecting you to do it without the use of a calculator. So let's have a look at some questions. And there's a question there. So write the following in the form 2 to the power of n, where n is a constant to be determined. So this exercise requires you to know your powers of 2 and your index laws. So if you want to give it a go, pause and give it a go, but I'll go through and start explaining them now. So part A, you've basically just got to know that 64 is 2 to the power of 6. Therefore, n equals 6. Part B, 1 over 8. Well, what I would first do is write the 8 as 2 cubed, get the 8 as a power of 2. 1 over 2 cubed. And we know from previous exercises that the reciprocal of something makes a negative power. So that would be 2 to the power of minus 3. Therefore, n is equal to minus 3 in this case. So 2 to the minus 3 is the reciprocal of 2 to the 3, which is an eighth. C, root of 32. Now, first of all, let's remember that 32 is 2 to the power of 5. Now, from the previous exercise, the square root of a number is to the power of a half. So that becomes 2 to the 5 to the power of a half. And knowing your index laws, multiply the powers together, that becomes 2 to the power of 5 over 2. Therefore, n equals 5 halves. 2.5 equally acceptable, but I personally just think it's better to write as a fraction. So part D, if you want to pause this, have a go at it. But I'll get on with explaining it now. So 16, I know, is equal to 2 to the power of 4. And the cube root of a number is power 1/3 equals, and we know the rule is to multiply the powers together, becomes 2 to the 4/3. Therefore, in this case, n, the constant to be determined, is 4/3. And the final one, part E, again, pause it if you want to have a go yourself. I'm just going to get on with it. So 2 to the 30 is already in the form 2 to the n. Brilliant. Times, but we've got to write 4 as a power of 2. Well, we know that 4 is equal to 2 squared. So I've written exactly the same thing again. I've just rewritten 4 as 2 squared. And we know the rule is to multiply the powers when they're in brackets like that. One outside the bracket, one inside the bracket. So that becomes 2 to the 30 times 2 to the minus 180, which is equal to, and now we add the powers, 2 to the power of minus 150 is minus 180 plus 30. Therefore, n equals minus 150 in this case. So hopefully you can get through a lot of those. Let's do a couple of examples now that just make it a little bit more difficult. So we're going to be asked to solve a few index equations showing detailed reasoning. And as I saw in that exam paper I told you about, the answers that rely on calculator technology won't be acceptable. It's your job to show detailed reasoning for these. So first example, solve 4 to the 3x equals 16. Well, we can see the left-hand side, we've got a power of 4. And the right-hand side, we've sort of got a power of 16. That's 16 to the power of 1. If we rewrite the right-hand side using the technique that we just learned, rewrite the right-hand side as a power of 4, then we can go about solving this. Have a go yourself. Pause it. See what happens. So 4 to the 3x equals 4 squared. Now if the left hand side and the right hand side are truly equal, then the powers have to be equal to each other. So that means that 3x must equal 2, which means that x equals, in this case, 2/3. Let's try another. Again, if you want to have a go at it, pause the video, have a go, see what you can do. So 1/10, I know, is 10 to the minus 1. The reciprocal of 10 is 10 to the minus 1 to the power of x. On the right hand side, we can write as 10 cubed. Well, that means that 10 to the minus x, if I simplify that bracket with a power outside, equals 10 cubed. And now in a position, now that both left and right are powers of 10, now I'm in a position to say that minus x equals 3, which means that x equals minus 3. Another example, pause if you want to give it a go. We've got root 3 to the power of 2x is 27 to the minus 1. Both sides can be written as powers of 3. So root 3 would be 3 to the power of a half, which is currently raised to the power of 2x also. And the right hand side would be 3 cubed, 27 to the minus 1. So simplifying those, we multiply the powers together. A half times 2x is just x. And 3 cubed to the minus 1, multiply the powers together, we get minus 3. And giving us again, x equals minus 3. Try another. So let's finish off with this one here. Again, if you want to pause and have a go at it yourself, feel free. But I'm going to go for it now. So 1/16 to the power of 4 minus 3t equals an 1/8 to the power of t. There's a number that will relate 16 and 8 when we're talking about powers of that number. We can see that both 16 and 8 are powers of 2. So that becomes 1 over 2 to the 4 to the power of 4 minus 3t, which is equal to 1 over 2 cubed to the power of t. And we can see both of those are reciprocals. So that's 2 to the minus 4 to the power of 4 minus 3t is equal to the reciprocal of 2 cubed, 2 to the power of minus 3 to the t. And let's multiply those out now. So that implies that, so multiplying those together, we get 2 to the power of minus 16 minus 4 times minus 3t is plus 12t equals 2 to the power of, simplifying that, minus 3t. And now we're in a position to say the left hand side and the right hand side are both base 2, so the powers must be equal. 12t minus 16 equals minus 3t, which implies that 15t equals 16, which finally implies that t equals 16/15. So as an example sheet of these questions to do, you should have a go at that now. Do them all. All questions have full worked solutions with them.